Hey, Cody, just described, I think your line mate Nash Jensen's going to be playing in his 70th game. From obviously, in the wear and tear on linemen, what do you think when you see that number and how impressive is that?
Yeah, I think it's impressive no matter who you are or what position you play, but especially as maybe an lineman because, you're banging against guys every single play. And thankfully Nash hasn't had like too many bad injuries, but I think that's just impressive. And 70 games, and thankfully I played next to him for a lot of those games. So to play next to someone who's so knowledgeable and, such a good football player has been awesome.
What's it like to enter a championship game or two programs that value the offensive line as much? SDSU has their 605 Hog nickname. You have the Rams. I mean, what's it like where the offensive lines are almost elevated to key players heading into a matchup like this?
Yeah, it's definitely cool. It's two very similar programs who, like you said, pride their offensive lines, pride themselves on running the ball and stopping the run. So, it should be a good matchup going into it. Two teams kind of wanting to do and stop each other from doing what they want to do. So, it's cool that that they kind of put their offensive linemen on the pedestal as well.
And finally, any fiddle lessons over the last few weeks? I know you're over at Moorhead High taking a few, I think a week or so ago.
Yeah, I had a couple fifth graders teach me how to hold the fiddle and play a couple notes. So nothing other than that, but it was a cool experience.
Thank you.
Zach McKinnell.
How you doing, Cody? We talked to your teammate Nash this offseason. He spoke about the culture of the offensive line room being a huge part of the success you guys have year in and year out. I want to get your perspective on it and how close you guys are as a unit and how that plays a role into how successful you guys are on Saturdays.
Yeah, I think just how well we mesh with each other it is like that's the reason we play so well on Saturdays because it's it's a position where you kind of got to trust all five guys, even if you're not necessarily playing next to a guy. He's on the other side, but you got to be able to trust him for what calls they're making off the edge or anything like that. And just the bonds that we've built, more so in the off season and off the field, is a big reason why we play well together and why we mesh so well.
You guys have a huge offensive versus defensive line matchup in this game, multiple All-Americans on the other side. Can you speak to some of the challenges that you've seen on film that South Dakota State's defensive line could offer in this game?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is just how hard they all play. That they're similar to our D-line in the fact that, they have their four guys, but then they have another four guys ready to go. And, they'll rotate a lot of people, so there's always fresh guys in there. And no matter who you have in there, if you're on the backside of a play, you got to hold your block a little longer because it could be a backside DN chasing the ball down and making a play 10 yards downfield. So I think it's just how hard they play.
Thank you, Cody. Good luck.
Luciano.
Hey, Cody. I hope you're doing well, and thanks for your time. What aspect of your game would you say you have improved upon the most throughout this season?
I would say I think I polished up, some stuff in my pass pro a little bit, but I think I came a long ways in the run game, just maybe being a little bit more aggressive, but also playing under control a lot better. I'm probably playing aggressive last year too, but not as much of the under control type thing. So I think that's been a big addition to my game.
Awesome. Thanks.
Jeff Kolpak.
Hey, Cody, made it through the season healthy, which isn't always that easy in football. You lost Noah and you lost Hunter. Describe those feelings for you.
Yeah, it sucks. Injuries always suck no matter who it is, but especially when it's like some of your best friends. Not only the fact that, they're big players for the Bison, but, they're some of my best friends. You hate to see them go through that. But, in terms of the team, yeah, it obviously sucks, but, a lot of young guys have stepped up and kind of claimed a new role and have done a good job with that. So you hate to see them go through it, and everyone on our team who's had injuries, you hate to see them go through it, but I'm pretty impressed by the way we've had young guys or, the guys right below them step up and come into those roles.
Yeah, and this rivalry, so to speak, got, it was born in 2004 with the Dakota Marker Trophy, which probably 10 minutes from your farm. How appropriate is it to finish your career against a team 10 minutes from your farm?
Yeah, I think couldn't write it up any better. It's I think the two teams who should be in Frisco are down there. So obviously going to be a good game, but going to mean a little bit more being that we're such longtime rivals as well.
Great, thanks.
Craig Haley.
Cody, thank you for the time. Throughout the year, are there any friendly exchanges or friendships between members of the players between the two teams?
I'd say probably maybe just more cordially, just during the game, it's obviously a little bit heated, but there's a lot of guys on our team from South Dakota who are friends with the guys on their team. So, they're very similar guys to us, I'm sure, and we'd get along with them. And you got respect for them, too. So, yeah, we're obviously going to get a little bit chippy at times, but you got respect for them. And, I'd say, probably more loose friendships, maybe, yeah.
Sure. I asked Spencer this question. Do you feel like an underdog in this going into this game?
Well, I don't know. It sure seems like that's what it's, getting written up to be. But I think anytime we're down there, it's, we have a pretty good process with the way we go about things. So, I don't know if I'd say we're an underdog or a favorite, but I for sure, obviously like our chances. So whatever people would consider us, I feel good with our game plan and how we're going to go about it.
Sure. Thank you, Cody.
Mike McFeely?
What has this year been like for you, Cody? Getting a lot of NFL draft attention and your pro football focus grades are through the roof and all of that stuff. How have you handled that? And what have been some specific things that have maybe been different for you this year in that aspect?
Yeah, it's definitely been a little bit different year in terms of that. A lot of just different accolades and stuff like that I'll see or get tagged in, which is obviously cool. But try not to think about it too much. It's worry more about, game to game, how can I help our team, and, after the fact can kind of worry about what's going to happen next. But definitely a little bit more busy this year just in terms of, people reaching out and, meetings and whatnot. But just keeping the team first is just kind of how I've been trying to keep it all year.
What can you tell me about Luke Salento, one of your teammates on the offensive line? As I talked to Coach Entz, he's a guy that came in a couple of years ago as a transfer and really hasn't had much of an opportunity to play, but he's stuck it out, and he's going to end up, playing in a couple championship games.
Yeah, definitely. Luke's an awesome guy, great guy to have around the offensive line room. One of the, morale guys, just always kind of cracking jokes or just keeping the mood up. He hasn't maybe had as much success playing as, he would have liked, but whenever he got in games, you could tell, he belongs here. And the biggest thing for him is he came here and got his graduate college degree. So, that's really, really good for him, and hopefully finish out the right way for guys like Luke.
Thank you.
We'll take our final question from Dom Izzo.
Code, I talked with Ryan Smith about this being in Wahpeton, of how SDSU fans are there now with Tyler Irwin's success. And I know Hankinson is so pretty big bison, but being so close to the border, are there any Jackrabbit fans in your hometown?
I think there are a couple, even I'll go back and not very much, but there's maybe a person wearing a Jackrabbit sweatshirt or something like that. But I'd say around the Hankinson area, it's pretty much all NDSU. There's not a whole lot of Jacks fans. Even the people who, maybe grew up or their parents went to college, just kind of, maybe they're kind of putting the sweatshirt away for the day just to kind of, the small town success type thing.
I asked Spencer this and Coach Entz about this, your last game. College game day has been there for this game. The playoffs, it seemed fitting that this is like finally the national championship game, that it's NDSU and SDSU.
Yeah, definitely seems fitting. Like I said, probably two of the best teams going at it, and it being them just makes it a little bit more special. So gonna be a really good game, and glad we're able to play another game down in Texas. Also glad we're able to get another shot at these guys.